from Girlybunches, and in this week's video we're going to be making these cute little butterflies. They are so adorable, they're so quick and easy to make, great for using up little bits of yarn, and I think they will just go down a storm with any kid who loves nature. You could make a nice little activity wall for them, you know, on a notice board or something. I just think they're so cute, they're so quick to make, and they're really easy. So of course, because I love easy stuff, so I've just used some cotton with variegated colour for this one. That's the same yarn, and this was just pink acrylic yarn, double knit. So nothing too fancy, you just need your yarn, your crochet hook, a darning needle, and we'll get started. I've got links up in here and in the description box on all the stitches that I cover, but you know, use that pause button if you need to, and ask me questions. Please do ask me questions if you need any help. So let's get started making these cute little butterflies. I have got some double knit yarn here, so I'm using the right sized hook for my yarn, which is a 4mm hook for the double knit yarn. So use the appropriate hook for your size yarn. So if you're making it with chunkier yarn, then your butterfly will be bigger, but that's no problem. And likewise, if you're using a smaller weight yarn and a smaller hook, then your butterfly will be smaller. Okay, so I've started off with 8 chains here. So now I've just slip stitched in. I'm just going to do a slip stitch into that first chain. So I just put the hook through, and you just grab the yarn and put it all the way through all of those loops, and that's a slip stitch. And that makes your loop, which you're now going to work the rest of the butterfly into. So I'm going to do 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and that will replace my first treble. So you may know that as a double crochet, but because I'm British, I use British terminology, and a treble is what I call it. So a treble is yarn over into the loop, grab the yarn, so you've got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, put it through 2 loops, and then yarn over and through 2 loops. So if I went a bit too fast for you there, I've got some more in-depth videos on all the stitches, and I've put a playlist up there for you so you can see them all. But now we've got 1 treble, because the 3 chains replaces the first treble, and a second treble, and we just need to do 1 more. And then what we're going to do is chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So now we need to repeat that so that we have this 8 times in total, so that's 7 more times. So that's 3 trebles and 3 chains. So I'm going to just do that one more time just to show you. So that's 1, 2, 3 trebles, and then 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and I shall keep doing that until I have 8 of these 3 trebles, and I shall come back when I get back to here. Okay, so I've actually come back when I've got 7 groups, because I just wanted to say that if you find that you're sort of running out of space, it's no problem to kind of shift them around and move them up and scrunch them around, because that's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter that it's going to get sort of winky wonky wobbly, it's fine. That's what we're looking for. So I've just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups there, and I'm just going to do 3 more trebles, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that 3rd chain that we did at the beginning, just to finish off that round. And I'll just show you what that looks like. I'll take the hook out, and as you can see, you know, that's got quite yes, it looks like there's too much in there, well, because there is, but that's fine, that's what we're looking for. So I'm just going to now start doing the 2nd round, and by more means, if you wanted to change colour here, that would be, you know, absolutely fine. And if you wanted to change colour, what you could do is I'll just quickly show you, just attach your new colour to your hook with a slip stitch, and then you would just, so where did I finish off? Here. So you would just do a slip stitch into that middle treble there, like that, to join it, and then you would start working your stitches on, you know, carry on working your stitches. So we're going to start doing trebles into that loop. Okay, so that's just how you would do another colour. But for this video, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to carry on with the same colour. So I'm just going to get my loop back here and put my hook in, and then I'm just going to slip stitch into that next treble along, because that's where I want to start working my next round from. Okay, so I did a slip stitch to join the round, and then I'll just slip stitch into that middle treble in the middle there. I hope you can see that. We're now going to start working trebles into these 3 chain spaces here. So we want 8 trebles, just work those straight into that that 3 chain space there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shimmy them over if you need to. 7, 8. Okay, once you've got those 8 into that 3 chain space, we're just going to do a slip stitch into that that second treble along. So that one there, like that, and that's one of the wings of the butterfly done. So you're now going to repeat that all the way around, doing 8 trebles and then a slip stitch into that second treble of those 3 that you have there. Okay, so I've gone all the way around now and done all of my butterfly wings, so it's still looking like a bit of a flower, but it's okay, that's what we wanted, even though it's not flat, that's exactly what we wanted. So to finish that off, I'm now just going to do a slip stitch into that second treble, 1, 2, along, and just do that, and that just locks down that petal shape or butterfly wing in this case. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to chain 16. Okay, so that's 1, 16. Okay, I'm going to take the hook out and I'll leave a nice big loop, because we're now going to sort of start shaping our butterfly. This is the right side up, because we can see these V stitches on the edge here. That's where the top of our stitch has finished. So if I turn it over, you can see that you can't see that. So that's the back. So you want to fold the back sides together so that you only see the nice sort of finished off edge. And as soon as you fold it in half, it turns into this lovely butterfly shape. We got the butterfly shape, and that's great, but now I want to wrap this tail end around twice, because that gives us the nice body part to the butterfly. And you want to put it down sort of nice and firmly, because you want it to go around twice. So it goes under, over, and you want to bring that, sort of put it down so it comes back over again, and you want to turn the work upside down and try not to get tangled up with all your ends here. The hook back into your loop there, and I'm just going to do a slip stitch through the layers of the butterfly. So if I just do that, and then I'll pull it apart and show you. So if I just pull that down, you can see I've gone through, I've aimed for just sort of, you know, where I can get it. Let's move it over a little bit actually, all through those layers like that. And I'm just going to do a slip stitch now. And that's just grab the yarn and put it through all of those layers and that loop, and then keeping it nice and firm, I'm going to cut the end of my yarn and tie that off into a nice tight knot. So I just pull that tail end through that loop, just give it a nice pull, and that's firmed that off nicely. So you've now got this end and this end, so you need to weave those in. So I shall just do that. So there's our butterfly, almost complete. All she needs now is some little antennae. So to do that, I'm just going to put that to one side, just grab the yarn, and again you can use a different colour yarn, but I'm just going to grab the yarn and make a chain, but I'm going to leave a fairly decent tail, not too long, sort of, I suppose that's almost the length of your crochet hook, so it's a good sized tail. I'm going to do about 10 chains, 10 or 12, it's up to you, don't want too many, or you can make them as long as you want really. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm just going to stick with 10. And again, you want to leave a decent sized tail at the other end. So I'm going to cut it down here. Tie off your chain. So just a tiny little chain, and then I'm going to tie a couple of knots at the end of each of the each end of the chain. So if you want to tie a knot and get it in a specific place, so you tie your knot and keep that loop open, and if you lay it down on a surface and get a thin sort of pointy object, so I'm using the needle here, and just put that in the middle of that loop, that knot, and put it where you want it to be. So I want it to be on the end of those chains. When you pull the knot up, it will always be where you put the item, you know, in. So that's a little tip there. So I've got that nice little bobble sort of knot on the end there, and I'm just going to do that to the other end. So I've got my two little bobbles at the either end of my chains there, and I'm just then going to leave those tail ends on for the minute, but I'm going to grab my butterfly, and I'll leave this sort of close up so you can see, and I'm just going to use my hook to go underneath that chain that I wrapped around and just grab that tail end and help it to pull that through, and then you can just adjust that where you want that to be, halfway through like that, and that sits quite snugly underneath those two chains. That's why we pulled them sort of quite firmly. And I'm just going to snip these ends off, and because you've done those extra knots, that's not going to come undone, but if you were worried about that, you could just put a bit of fabric glue on the end there, and that would keep them nice and in place. And there you go, there is your finished butterfly. Right, really simple to do, will look great on a project, all kind of craft projects that will look great on. And if I quite like this open look here with the sort of the wings, because it sort of makes it look like it's sort of moving or flying away, but you could definitely sew those together if that bothered you. It doesn't bother me, but if it does, it's your butterfly, you make it how you want it. And definitely you could do different rounds with different colours. I've just done a couple back, like I showed you at the beginning, these little cotton ones that I've made with this variegated yarn. They also look quite cute too. So I really hope you liked this tutorial. I think it's super cute, and I can see lots of uses for these little butterflies. So give me a thumbs up, I would love that if you did. And if you enjoy this kind of video, why not hit that subscribe button down there? It's a little red button with a white arrow in it, and you clicking on that means that you'll get updates to my new videos, and it shows that you're enjoying what you're seeing and that you're supporting my channel, and I would really appreciate that. So thanks for watching, take care, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!